What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday over here right now. Bitcoin, as we speak, back on top of 27.2K. Stock market getting quite a bit of a bounce right now, and the crypto markets are being pumped by Bitcoin. I think it still is the driver of the entire crypto markets here. So currently, it is very important to pay attention to Bitcoin. But the main topic of this video will be about Theta Network. See what's going on in this market. Is this market still alive? Could it see more pain in this market? Or is it due for a reversal? We're going to be taking a look into some upside and downside price targets for Theta. Also, some key price levels for this price action to break in order to go either direction. I'm going to be giving you guys my personal sentiment and opinions on this market later in this video, so make sure to stay around for that. Lastly, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice, of course. It is purely my personal opinions and speculations on this market. I am not a financial advisor nor an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear markets, but I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, if you guys feel pumped, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into the charts here. So currently we do have Theta Network token up about 1%. So what has been happening with this coin here? It's been pretty beat up since it has reached its all-time highs back in, I would say 2021. That's basically where a lot of these coins had their huge blow off tops, right? All-time highs was about almost $16 here, right? And then reaching back down to here at about 64 cents currently. I see that price action on this weekly time frame is in a descending triangle. Okay, a descending triangle is a bearish pattern. It is basically the opposite of an ascending triangle, but this would be like an ascending triangle for the bears. Okay, so let's see if this price action is going to continue downwards, right? Because descending triangle patterns typically break to the downside. Okay, typically, not absolutely. There are still chances that this could still break upwards, but obviously not as likely, right? So a descending triangle pattern here that has been formed since April of this year, right? And basically it is very close to the end of this pattern, so I would expect some kind of move resolution soon. Okay, so let's take a measure target from this descending triangle, which is basically measuring the opening of the pattern. And then you put it below, you put that measurement below the neckline or the support of this pattern, which would be about, I'm just going to say 56 cent area. Okay, I'm just going to say 56 cents, even though it's rounding off to 57 cents. But I just want to be sure so you don't get a false breakout. So I'm just going to say 56 cent area. Okay. Now that will give you a measure target of below zero. Now, technical analysis is very helpful in a lot of situations when it comes to trading and investing. I am a trader myself. So, but there are going to be times when it doesn't make sense. And this is definitely one of them because it's giving you a measure target below zero, right? It's taking you down to negative, maybe negative 12 cents here. So, this, would it actually go down to zero? Well, we're just going to have to see, right? So what happens is, when you get a measure target on a higher time frame, what I would do is I will continue to chart the price action here on a lower time frame. So we're on the weekly right now. So what I would do is I will continually track it on the daily time frame and see if there's any sign of reversal. For example, if this price action does break down below 56 cents, right? what I'm going to be doing is what I would do is I would continuously chart the price action on the daily time frame, preferably, and see if it can get any type of clues on what type of trading pattern, right? It's going on the daily time frame, right? And if we get some kind of bullish trading pattern there, that could tell us that the price action could be turning around, and the price action is, it could be stopping short of the measure targets. Now, measure targets are estimates only, okay? It could be over, under, and there could be a lot of things that could be happening in between, right? There is no certainty in this market. If you like certainty, this is not the game for you, right? So, do Google search whatever I'm talking about here, descending triangles, measure targets. I hope you guys get curious enough and look into other patterns as well. I think the quicker you guys familiarize yourself with pattern recognition, the more beneficial it will be for you to just be able to trade this and invest in this market independently, okay, without having to come onto YouTube and listen to what other people have to say. Because that's basically what I do, okay? Let's take a look into some key price levels. This price action does need to break in order to go downwards. Okay, we're gonna go to the downside first, right? Also, I want to note, it is not, I mean, you could see a descending triangle turn into a falling wedge as well, as you guys can imagine, right? If the price action stops short of the measured targets, it could potentially look something like this. It could, look like a breakdown of this descending triangle pattern, and then, just kind of very short of the measured target. That's a scenario. It's a possible scenario, right? I'm not saying that has to happen, but that is a scenario you could be looking out for, right? If that does happen, you would recognize it, right? So let's take a look into some key supports going downwards first, because this is a bearish pattern. So let's come to the monthly time frame so I can get a cleaner look. Of course, you guys can stay on whatever time frame you guys are trading on to look for key supports and resistances. But I'm just going to come to the monthly time frame here for a cleaner look and for time's sake, right? Let's see, what are the next levels? Some key price levels down, right? From this level right now, I see 50-cent area coming from the candles of August 2020 and September 2020, okay? Those are going to be your support levels, right? About that, is that 50-cent area? No, your 50-cent area. Okay, it's pretty hard to read this, right? Okay, first of all, it looks like it's gonna be like this. Is 57.5 cents area. So I'm saying that's gonna be in the 60 cents range. I'm just gonna say, okay, 57.5 to about 60 cents range. Okay, expect support there. And then coming down here will be about the 50 cents area, okay, before the candles get harder to read. So 60 cents area and then 50 cents area, those are going to be your next key levels of support. And this is on the monthly time frame. You guys can refer back to past trading history here to verify what I'm saying. Let's take a look into some some key resistances if this price action was to actually break out of this descending triangle, right? If it actually breaks this upward trend line, then that would tell me this price action is, breaking to the upside, contrary to its probabilities, right? Now, because that could happen, right? Weekly 21 SMA currently at about 72 cents area. That would be your, that's pretty, close resistance right above the top trend line right now. Weekly 50 SMA at about the 88 cent area, the gray line here. Monthly 21 SMA, $1.40 area, the blue line. Monthly 50 SMA, $2.30, the gray line. And you guys can do this on the 3-day and the daily time frame. So let's save some time here and not make this too long. You guys can do that for your 3-day time frame, your daily time frame, and then depending on what time frames you guys are also trading on, you guys can go down some more, right? So it's basically the same drill. Let's take a look into Bitcoin real quick, because it's very important. We had a pretty big pump in Bitcoin. I mean, 3% is pretty big in Bitcoin. And it was, we finally have a resolution here for Bitcoin, as I've been talking about here, because this was very important. I've been talking about this, this interesting scenario, right? Where there was a head and shoulders pattern here. Neckline, I said it was 26.4K just to be even of that head and shoulders pattern. Price action break back on above that neckline, right? And it looks like actually broke out of a falling wedge instead. That was the other scenario where the price action has broken down from that head and shoulders pattern. It didn't come down like a huge dump, right? So it actually formed some kind of a slower dip here, forming a falling wedge. Finally broke out of this falling wedge, so we can actually get rid of some trend lines here, namely that head and shoulders pattern, right? And then we can actually take a measure target out of this falling wedge right here, right? Since we actually have I think on the daily time frame is where you can actually see more clearly what this falling wedge looks like, right? So right here, it looks like the price action is already at its measure targets. So, that would be as of yesterday's daily candle out of this smaller falling wedge, right? Measure target would be about 27.5K. Price action has gone as far as about 27.3. So, in my opinion, it's basically met that smaller falling wedge targets. I would even just go ahead and put this one away, right? And then take a look into, this bigger falling wedge pattern that I've talked about for quite some time, since last week. So price action, still is on after, it still is, considered the breakout of this bigger falling wedge pattern. Measure target would be about 29.2K, right? You're gonna hit quite a bit of resistance when you get to about 28K level right here, even though price action does look like it has a pretty safe close on top of the daily 50 SMA. That's about 26.7K, right? We got about 5 more hours until this daily candle close. It looks like it's gonna be, 5 hours. A lot of things can change with Bitcoin in 5 hours, but it looks like you have a pretty good, I'm at a loss for words. You have a pretty good lead above the daily 50 SMA right now. So it looks like it's gonna be a pretty good close. And then the next huge resistance would be the orange line, which is the daily 200 SMA, which is it's gonna be pretty dense in that area, okay? In terms of moving averages, you got your 3-day 50 SMA, which it's somewhat of a big deal, but you also got your weekly moving averages. That's more important. Your weekly 21 and the weekly 200 at about that 28K-ish area as well. And I think you also got your monthly 21, basically right on top of you. So, quite a bit of, I don't think it's gonna be a smooth ride, at this time, right? So better keep your eyes open at this time. It's gonna be, I would expect quite a bit of volatility coming in here, right? Now, my overall opinions and sentiment on this market is still overall bullish. I am cautious, right? But I am overall bullish because we are still staying away from this weekly double top pattern right here. Neckline 24.7K. weekly 50 SMA coming up slowly. And then, as long as we stay away from that breakdown, then I am still bullish. But it is the time to be cautious as well. So that's what I'm seeing right now. I am long on quite a bit of altcoins. So if you guys do want to see more of THETA Network, like, subscribe, comments. If enough of you guys want to see it, I will bring you guys an update. And that's it for this post. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later.